throughout history, societies have reserved special rituals for the condemned. One of the strangest traditions to survive into modern prison systems is the final meal request. In ancient Greece, it was believed to help the condemned cross the river of Styx and not return as a hungry ghost that would haunt the living. The Puritans would hold a grand feast for the condemned, believing it emulated the Last Supper, which represented atonement for both the community and prisoner. Yet when examining the histories of infamous criminals, the final meal often becomes unsettling. Serial killers requested childhood comfort foods, mass murderers ordered extravagant feasts, and others rejected food entirely. I am your host Hatter, along with
Scoot,
and welcome to Investigation. If you couldn't tell, today I'm going to be covering a few Last Supper requests.
Oh, we're switching it up. I like it.
We are. And also, I know that technically this Thursday was Scoot's mini, but she is still working on it. So I had mine ready. So we're switching it up on you.
We're switching it up on y'all.
It's a free-for-all month. So...
and I think it'll be a nice change of pace for you all.
Yeah, hopefully. I have just a few of them. And we're going to start with Ted Bundy. Because I feel like that's just a good one to lead with.
Yeah, why not?
If you don't know who Ted Bundy is, he remains one of the most infamous serial killers in American history, not only because of the brutality of his crimes, but because he looked nothing like what society expected a monster to be.
Which I think that's usually the case, unfortunately.
Right.
And I think they more recently link him to another, cold case? I think I read something about that. They more recently, I think through... I don't know if it was DNA, through something, they were able to link him to a cold case. Yeah.
We definitely have to cover him at some point. I know that it's hard because there's a lot of true crime podcasts out there and a lot of people cover the main ones. But some of the cases I know an overview of. So it's I'm also getting the knowledge from doing the research and then sharing it. So it's some of them I still want to do because I just don't know a lot about them.
Yeah.
But he was born as Theodore Robert Bundy on November 24th, 1946 in Burlington, Vermont. Bundy was intelligent, educated, politically active, and by many accounts charismatic. He studied psychology, volunteered at political campaigns, and projected the image of an ambitious young professional. To friends and acquaintances, he often appeared polite and, like I said, just charming. He came across as a charming guy. But behind that image was a predator whose crimes stretched across multiple states during the mid to late 1970s. In total, Bundy confessed to 30 murders before his execution, though investigators and criminologists
there you go.
Have long suspected that the actual number is much higher. His victims were primarily young women, and they occurred, like I said, through states like Washington, Oregon, Utah, Colorado, Idaho, and Florida, creating one of the earliest multi-state serial murder investigations in modern American history. But what made him such an infamous guy was the way that he would get his victims. It was very deceptive. He would wear a cast, sling, or crutches and pretend to be injured and then be like, oh my god, I need help. Can you help me load this into my car? And then when the women would come and help him, he would abduct them, things like that. And then once isolated, that's when he would act out his crimes.
Reminds me of Silence of the Lambs.
I haven't seen that.
You've never watched?
I've never seen that, dude. And me and my boyfriend went to watch a movie last night and it popped up and I looked on it and I was like, 4 hours? Jesus Christ.
That movie's not 4 hours.
Is it not?
No.
I could have sworn.
You might be thinking of The Shining.
Oh my god, I am thinking of The Shining.
Because I know there was one that came out in 1990.
Yeah,
that was a 2-part TV series, and that is 4 hours.
Yeah, I am thinking of The Shining. Okay, that makes more sense. But still, 4 hours, and then he was like, oh yeah, there's one that was in total it's 16 hours long. And I was like, what the fuck? Who wants to watch that?
10 out of 10, you need to watch Silence of the Lambs.
Okay.
So good.
I haven't seen The Shining either, so I feel like both of them at some point I need to watch.
Especially the original Shining?
Yeah.
With Jack Nichols? Yeah, for sure.
Now, as Bundy moved across states, his crimes would escalate. And during an era before modern DNA analysis, national databases, and like we've said before, just a lack of being able to share information between places, this kind of allowed him to exploit those gaps in law enforcement. And it allowed Bundy to continue killing for a lot longer than might have been possible today.
Yeah.
Eventually, though, his reign of terror came to an end in Florida after 2 dramatic escapes from custody in Colorado. In January of 1978, Bundy entered the Chi Omega sorority house at Florida State University, where he killed 2 women and severely injured others in one of his most infamous attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Weeks later, he would abduct and murder a 12-year-old named Kimberly Leach, and he was finally arrested in February of 1978 after a traffic stop in Florida.
I didn't realize some of his victims were so young. 12?
Yes, that was his final victim.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Now, one of the reasons that Bundy's kind of so infamous, like I was saying, is really the contrast, because it kind of shocked the public to see what their narrative was of what evil looked like, and then what he looked like.
And what he actually looked like.
Right. But after years of headlines and manhunts and all that jazz, Ted Bundy would arrive at a pretty normal moment in life. Well, I wouldn't say in most people's lives, because he was on death row, and somebody said, "What would you like for dinner?
What do you want your last meal to be?"
Your last meal to be. But he declined to make any request.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So therefore, he was served a standard prison meal of steak, eggs, hash browns, toast, butter, milk, juice, and coffee. So it's kind of funny because everybody, I feel expected a spectacle, and then he was given breakfast.
Yeah.
And it is also reported that he didn't even touch any of it.
They didn't even actually eat it.
Yep.
Huh.
Now, outside of the prison during his execution, though, nearly 200, some places said up to 1,000 people gathered.
I could see that.
Yep, they were celebrating his execution. People sold souvenirs. It was very festive atmosphere. They were singing and chanting.
Yeah.
Some people even sold shirts like Friday, but Fry is an F-R-Y.
Oh.
Right.
That's a little dark.
Yeah, it's a little dark. Other people had shirts that said Burn Bundy or Toast Ted. And one spectator held up a bed sheet, which he wrote, "I like my Ted well done."
Wow. So I get what this guy had done.
Mm-hmm.
I get the celebration, but whoo,
it's a little fucked up.
A little
dark.
Much. A little much.
Yeah.
A little dark.
I'm not judging him at all.
No. You do,
because I do get it.
Yeah.
And it's funny because your episode, I was talking about people who take things from crime scenes.
Yes.
Or wear shirts with the serial killer symbols. That's fucked. Doing this stuff, that's a little on the line.
It's on the line.
Yeah, it's a little on the line. I'm it's a little weird, but also I get it because that he did some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
At 7:16 a.m., Ted Bundy died in Florida's electric chair.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's why the Friday.
Yeah. Oh no, I get it. Just when it comes
Right.
down to the electric chair or lethal injection,
it's a very gray area. I feel for a lot of people.
Ew.
Which I'm not going to get into.
No.
Because that could be probably a 5-parter series of...
Oh, of course. That could be an extra long
Yeah.
special.
But moving on, because like I said, I'm just going to go through a few of these.
Go for it.
We got Thomas J. Grosso. Now, Thomas Joseph Grasso was born on November 23rd, 1962 in New York. He spent much of his life moving through unstable circumstances, marked by your kind of typical violence and just criminal behavior.
Okay, I got you.
By the early 1990s, Grosso had developed a history of aggression and theft that would eventually escalate into murder. Unlike some of your, big-name serial offenders, Grosso's crimes were fewer in number but deeply disturbing in the vulnerability of his victims.
Oh.
In 1990, Grosso murdered 87-year-old Hilda Johnson in New York.
Oh.
Yes. This was during a robbery when he got into her home and then strangled her inside. He claimed that he targeted for money, but investigators determined that the amount that was taken was relatively small. So
Okay.
I don't know if she just didn't have much or if maybe that just was his narrative that he added.
Maybe.
Now, he continued his criminal activity, and in 1991, he would murder 81-year-old Leslie Holtz.
So his type of thing was older
Yep.
people. Okay.
Now, Grosso resided in the same building as Leslie at St. George Boarding House in Staten Island. He was seeking cash to purchase cocaine, entered Holtz's apartment to rob him, and then that's where he killed him.
Okay.
Investigators quickly connected Grosso to the murder, and he confessed to both and was sentenced to death. Unlike Ted Bundy's surprisingly ordinary breakfast, Grosso approached the final meal tradition as like he was handed a restaurant menu. His request included 24 steamed mussels, 24 steamed clams, Burger King double cheeseburger, 6 barbecue ribs, a bowl of strawberries, half of a pumpkin pie with whipped cream, 2 strawberry milkshakes, and most importantly, SpaghettiOs with meatballs.
So if I was on death row, that's probably the route I'd go. I mean, if I'm gonna be either electrocuted or lethal injection, whatever is gonna happen to me, and I get my final meal, that's probably the route I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go full on, like,
trying to get a little bit of everything.
Whatever
Yeah. I was actually thinking about that too, and I was like, dude, I think my final meal would be like a frozen coffee, ice cream, pizza, mac and cheese, and Chinese.
Oh.
Like, that would be, those are like my foods that I'm just like, if I'm like want comfort, that's what I go for.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason the SpaghettiOs were so important was because he didn't get them.
What? He didn't get his SpaghettiOs?
He didn't get his SpaghettiOs.
What?
Instead, the prison substituted regular meatballs in sauce.
That is not the same.
He noticed.
Even you know, I'm not rooting for this guy by no means for what he did. But I draw the line. That's not the same as SpaghettiOs. The least they could have done was like get him SpaghettiOs without the meatballs.
Well, he noticed for sure.
I'm sure he did.
His final statement was a complaint saying, quote, "I did not get my SpaghettiOs. I got the sauce and the meatballs and everything, but the meatball was lumpy." It's just like, fuck you, dude.
Oh, shoot.
So it's funny, but it's not funny. You know what I mean?
It's a little funny.
It is funny that like he did not get, and that was his complaint about it.
That was his one thing, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Moving on to John Wayne Gacy.
I've heard of him.
Yeah. Yeah. He also is a very notorious killer. A lot of people have heard of him. He was born on March 17th, 1942 in Chicago, Illinois. And outwardly, he appeared very successful. He kind of had that same air like Bundy did. He was a businessman, community volunteer. He owned a construction company.
Wasn't he a clown?
He was a clown.
Okay, I was making sure I had the right person.
Yes. So not only was he always described as friendly and outgoing, he would occasionally entertain children as either Pogo the Clown or sometimes Patches the Clown.
Oh, okay.
Which is fucking weird now, knowing what he did.
Of course.
And I'm like, I feel bad for clowns out there.
Yes.
Because then it's like, there's a lot of people who are freaked out by clowns, and like, this did not help
that
at
all. No, that didn't help anyone's case with the fear of clowns.
Not at all. Between 1972 and 1978, Gacy lured young men and boys into his home. He would offer employment opportunities, money. Just like one of them, when I was briefly looking through the case, was like he offered to watch, it was like a gay film of some sort.
Oh, okay.
And that's how he got him to come into his apartment. But then he would assault them and later, like afterwards, kill them. It is said that Gacy used handcuffs, restraints, and different manipulation techniques that he referred to as rope tricks before attacking his victims.
Ew.
Yes. As the suspicions increased and authorities began investigating the disappearances, they kind of connected it to Gacy. And what they found inside the house was shocking. 26 bodies were discovered in the crawl space beneath the residence.
Wow.
More victims were located elsewhere on the property, and at least 4 were disposed of in the rivers or in the surrounding area after the space beneath the house became limited. They have identified at least 33 victims, and this was like after the neighbors had also like recalled some odors around the property, but they assumed it was like sewage problems and things like that.
Understandably.
Yes. After everything had came to a conclusion, Gacy reached the final ritual that has followed executions for years. Now, Gacy's request appeared strangely personal. So he ordered fried chicken, fried shrimp, French fries, and fresh strawberries.
Okay.
But the weird kind of thing about it is Gacy had managed a Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurant with his wife earlier in his life.
Oh.
So they believe that it like was a nostalgic thing for him.
I could see it.
Which makes sense.
I could see it.
So whether it was intentional or not, it is kind of an eerie connection.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I was like, all right. Now, Alan Lee Davis became one of Florida's most infamous death row inmates after committing a crime so violent that it shocked investigators and remained controversial decades later.
For Florida?
For Florida.
Because there's some weird stuff that goes down in Florida. I'm excited for us to go to Florida.
There is some weird stuff in Florida. I want to do a mini where we both just pull like those random ass Florida Man newspaper clippings where it's like Florida man wrestles an alligator in a Speedo with a banana strapped to his back. Like, what the fuck? Like,
so for this to shock detectives and like investigators down in Florida, like it has to be something bad.
It is bad, and it involves children. So I'm not gonna like really go into what exactly happened, like the actual details, because it's really fucked. But to summarize it, he was already known by like the early 1980s for prior arrests and convictions that were already fucked. But in 1982 in Jacksonville, Florida, he would go in to rob a family. And I put that in quotes because later he said his goal was to rape and kill the mom.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But the victims were Annie Mae Tyson, who was pregnant at the time, and her 2 daughters, Christina, age 10, and Catherine, age 5.
No!
Yeah, and it is fucked. And they live next door to Davis's father. So that's how... And they think he got into, because there wasn't any sign of a break-in, so they think actually, I believe it was one of the daughters who said that they like needed help fixing a door. And so she had let him in.
She invited him in.
Yeah, because he...
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was like, I can't, like, it's fucked. It is fucked up.
We already had a heavy case.
Yeah, I mean...
Like a couple weeks ago, like...
Right. And, like, the description of the... I'm like, the description of the crime is, like, burned into my eyeballs.
Oh, I bet so.
For, like, a little bit of detail.
For a tidbit.
He ended up causing blunt force trauma to the mom with, I believe it was the, like, handle of the gun he had.
Oh, okay.
And he hit her at least 25 times in the head.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, but the deaths of the children particularly intensified public outrage.
Understandably.
Right. It's really hard with
kids. Especially.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The case quickly drew attention throughout all of Florida and became one of the state's most notorious capital murder prosecutions. He was eventually arrested and sentenced to death, but he approached this final meal request like a seafood restaurant.
Oh.
He went a little bit bougie with it. He ordered lobster tail, fried shrimp, fried clams, a half of a loaf of garlic bread, and a 32-ounce of A&W root beer.
Okay. You know, I never did get the overhype of a lobster.
I think I tried it once and I was like, this is not worth the money.
I find them very bland.
Yeah, like I was like, it's good, but like I'd much rather have like shrimp or crab.
I'd rather have a crab. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, crab's got a better flavor.
Like a butteriness to it.
Yeah.
I agree, personally. But I'm not a bougie bitch, so I don't know if maybe like there's a tier of lobster out there.
I couldn't tell you either.
Yeah, I'm not huge on seafood in general.
Mm-hmm.
Things like oysters.
Oh no, I won't touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
No.
Like, what do you want to slurp snot? Yeah.
That's a good way to look at it.
Mussels, I think. Mussels? One of them is like, it's still in the shell and it's like...
Yeah.
It's so gross.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah, and I can't do that. I'm very much a texture person when it comes to, well, everything, but especially food. Somebody, though, that didn't order seafood, who didn't actually order any food, was James Edward Smith. Now, James Edward Smith was not really known much for his crimes. He spent much of his adult life moving through periods of instability and criminal activity, and by the early 1980s, he had accumulated many arrests and, one of those that had like a pretty lengthy rap sheet. In 1983, Smith entered an insurance office in Houston, Texas, armed with the intent to commit robbery. Inside the office was Larry Don Rojas. He was a manager working at the location during the robbery, and Smith fatally shot Larry.
Mm.
I included his escape because it was a little bit funny to me. So he fled through the building on foot and was being chased down by 2 office workers.
Okay.
They ran through a field and then into an apartment complex where Smith tried to shoot at them. But as he left the complex, he tripped over the street and was subdued by the people chasing him.
Oh, no.
And a passing detective who just happened to notice the commotion arrested him for the robbery then and there. He was convicted of capital murder and sentenced to death in Texas. And obviously, because this case isn't like, oh my God, it just didn't receive a lot of attention.
Yeah.
But that did change on the day of his execution because, like I said, he didn't ask for food.
What did he ask for?
He asked for dirt.
Why did he ask for dirt? Oh no.
Specifically, he asked for Rayacunda dirt.
What is that?
He explained that it had spiritual significance, and it is often associated with voodoo practice.
I was getting ready to say, that sounds like some voodoo crap.
Yes. He asked for it because he believed, and he did practice voodoo.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so he believed that it was possible for reincarnation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So prison officials refused, and then...
Oh, I mean...
They already had rules for, like, regarding that the meals had to be edible, basically. So they were like, we can't give you that.
I mean, to be fair, though, you can eat dirt.
You could eat dirt. But dirt I guess also, edible. Like, if you're like, you're going to be using it for a voodoo ritual, I'm not going to give you that.
Fair enough. Like, you know what? Fair enough.
I get it. He was going to be just given, like, a standard prison meal, but, like, there was appeals involved, and so basically his execution got delayed, and his last meal ended up being yogurt.
Yogurt?
Just yogurt.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of sad. Like...
A little bit. It's a little sad.
I would be so upset if I like yogurt, but I'd be fucking pissed if that was my final meal.
Yeah,
yogurt.
For sure.
And it's just so funny to me because, like, somebody somewhere in Texas got the most confusing meal order of their fucking life.
What do you mean?
Like, dirt.
Oh,
they were like, here's his last meal request, and they, like, opened up the document and it was like, dirt. He wants dirt.
A specific type of dirt. Okay.
It's just so funny. Now, Lawrence Russell Brewer, he was also in Texas, and he's a pretty well-known case.
This ain't Texas. Sorry.
I don't know that song, girl.
I heard it on the radio, and you said Texas, and it just instantly was just going through my head.
But yeah, Lawrence Russell Brewer, he has a very dark crime, and so I'm going to put a little bit of a trigger warning for, like, hate crimes as well as just brutality of it.
Okay.
And he's also well known not only because of his crime, but because his final meal request permanently changed the tradition in Texas.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Born on March 13th, 1967, Brewer spent much of his adult life involved with white supremacist ideology.
Oh, no.
Right. And by the late 1990s, he was already associated with racist organization and had developed relationships with other individuals who shared similar beliefs. He had been in prison, I believe, a few times. And one of the times he met somebody else that was part of a group and spiraled, basically, from there. And this crime is one of the more horrific hate crimes in American history. On June 7th, 1998, James Byrd Jr. accepted a ride from Brewer and two accomplices in Jasper, Texas. Instead of taking him home, prosecutors stated that Byrd was assaulted, chained to the truck, and then dragged along the road.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Obviously, your reaction was echoed across the nation.
Of course.
Everybody was like, what the actual fuck?
Yeah.
And because later it was determined as well that Byrd was alive for most of the dragging.
No.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it made me sick.
Yeah, that's... Ooh, my tummy twisted a little bit. Ooh.
It's fucked. Which, something that did at least come out of this, I guess, that was better, was the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Prevention Act.
Okay.
And that was signed into law in 2009.
Okay.
But Brewer was convicted and sentenced to death. And his requests included 2 chicken fried steaks with gravy, triple bacon cheeseburger, cheese omelet, fried okra, 3 fajitas, a pound of barbecue with white bread, a meat lover's pizza, ice cream, a slab of peanut butter fudge with crushed peanuts, and 3 root beer sodas.
That's a lot of food.
It was a lot of food.
That's a lot.
It literally, like, was less of, like, a final meal request and, like, an all-you-can-eat challenge.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, we're getting to some buffet style, type of thing.
But he refused to eat it.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So he ordered all of that.
He ordered all of that.
And didn't eat it.
Yeah, I think it was definitely like a control thing for him.
Kind of like a one big last screw you type thing.
Yeah.
What did they do with that food? Like, afterwards?
No, I'm assuming they would just toss it, or...
That'd be such a waste.
I know.
Like...
I don't know if, like... I can't imagine wanting to eat anything that somebody like this potentially touched in any way.
I get that too, but it's just...
like, they might have given it maybe to other inmates.
Maybe.
I don't know. But this caused the state to end their final meal requests.
Oh, so they just don't do it anymore. They just
don't do it. This is the one a few episodes back when I was like, there was this one guy who, like... Yeah, this is that case.
This is that guy.
Yep.
So they just don't do it anymore.
They don't do it at all. Now, also because of this change, so... His other 2 accomplices that were with him obviously were also arrested. Now, the one of his accomplices was the only one to show any remorse for his action. So he was just sentenced to life in prison.
Okay.
But Russell and the other one were sentenced to death. Now, because of Russell's order permanently changing it, the other one just got a standard prison meal before his execution.
All right.
Now, Peter Joseph Miniel occupies an kind of unusual place in history because he was also not nationally recognized for his crimes in general, but he became recognized because of his final meal.
Okay.
Now, his crime itself, he had, up until the final crime, he had built up like a criminal history, which is unsurprising, that ultimately led him to Florida's death row. On May 8th, 1986, Peter Miniel and his friend James Russell Jr. went to Paul Menier's apartment. Miniel suggested to Russell that they rob Paul. He asked Russell to pretend to retrieve cocaine out of his car as a distraction. Russell went outside briefly, and when he returned, Paul was in the bedroom with Miniel. As Paul leaned over the bed to clean a mirror to snort the cocaine off of... was that intentional or did you sniffle?
No, that was intentional.
That was intentional, okay.
If you catch my drift.
Yes, yeah, just a little. Then So as he was bent over, Miniel struck him in the back of the head with a beer mug.
Oh.
Yeah. Paul fell to his knees and tried to cover his head, and Miniel kept hitting him and eventually knocking him onto his side. Miniel then told Russell to get a shock absorber that was sitting on the table and hit Paul with it. So Russell did so, and then Miniel told Russell that he was not hitting him hard enough.
Oh.
So he took it from him and hit Paul in the head like 4 or 5 times. When Paul was still alive and moving, Miniel told Russell to stab him with a knife. Now, Russell hesitated, so Miniel grabbed the knife from him and stabbed Paul. Still, Paul kept moving, was trying to, get away.
Yeah.
So Miniel asked Russell to hold him down while he attempted to cut his throat, but the knife was dull, so...
Oh,
yeah.
no. That's even worse, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
In total, Paul suffered 39 stab wounds.
39?
39.
With a dull knife.
With a dull knife.
Oh.
He also had just 10 cuts and 6 blunt force trauma injuries to his head, including a hole in his skull. Yeah, that's fucked.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yep. Now, once again, even though his crime itself attracted less public attention than some of the other cases we talked about, his name does still appear in a lot of discussions because of the menu. He submitted what became one of the largest recorded final meal requests in American history. He ordered 20 beef tacos, 20 beef enchiladas, 2 double cheeseburgers, a pizza with jalapenos, fried chicken, spaghetti with salt, half of a chocolate cake, half of a vanilla cake, cookies and cream ice cream, caramel pecan fudge ice cream, a small fruit cake, 2 Coca-Colas, 2 Pepsis, 2 root beers, and 2 orange juices.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of food.
It feels like somebody walked into a food court and was like, I'll take one of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, dude.
That is a lot of food.
Yes. That's what I have noted. I was like, what would you like before execution? And somebody answered, everything.
Everything.
Everything. Then the final one I'm going to talk about today is Velma Barfield. So she became one of the first women executed after the United States reinstated the death penalty.
Okay.
And she is the first woman to be executed by lethal injection.
I was about to say, I think this is the first time we've talked about, a woman.
Yeah, on death row.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She poisoned multiple people using arsenic, including family members and individuals under her care.
Oh.
Yeah. She served as kind of a in-home nurse aide.
I got you, yeah.
Authorities connected several suspicious deaths to her before arresting her. She was convicted, and her last meal request was cheese doodles and Coca-Cola.
Cheese doodles?
Cheese doodles and Coca-Cola.
What are cheese doodles?
They're kind of like the puffy Cheetos.
Oh.
Those are cheese doodles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like a cheese puff.
Yeah, like a cheese puff, yeah. Which, it's funny to me because after reading all these of very lavish requests, hers feels just strangely like a gas station run.
Yeah, like a snack. Yeah, like a run to the gas station. You got the munchies. You're feeling snackish. And
yeah,
you get yourself some
cheese doodles
and a Coke. Yeah.
And a Coke, and I said it in a Coca, a combined Coke and Cola. What is I don't want to say cool, but kind of interesting, and it's on the verge of being cool because a singer-songwriter Jonathan Byrd is the grandson of Jennings Barfield. This was Velma's second husband.
Okay.
But Jonathan Byrd was from Jennings Barfield's first marriage. But he wrote a song called Velma from his Wildflowers album, and it gives a personal account of the murders and the investigation, through the lyrics. So that's why I was like, it's kind of cool, but it's also dark because the nature of it. But it is cool. So some of just a couple parts of the song.
Yeah.
And you can find it on Spotify. I already listened to it. It's pretty good, actually. It's kind of country folky, but I guess kind of gothic country.
So like southern gothic music almost.
Yeah, I would say it's on that edge. I'm not good with genres, but
I got you.
And the second verse is, you poisoned your mama, then you watched her fall, falling down, Velma, falling down. Your medicine is calling, can't you hear your medicine call, falling down, Velma, falling down. You married my granddaddy, him I never knew, falling down, Velma, falling down. About the time he met me was about the time he met you, falling down, Velma falling down. And then, but it like continues on with a couple of the different things.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's all I have for you today. I do already have more like written out, but I figured I probably sprinkle this in once in a while.
Yeah, we can come back to it.
It's a little more lighthearted. I know I still talked about the cases, which can be obviously just fucked up in any way. But I thought it would be fun to do this month since it's already kind of a lighter month we got going on. So yeah. So that is the Last Suppers of the Damned.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. All right. Well, thanks for listening in, guys. Catch us for the full episode. And don't go too far, because we'll catch you in the next investigation. Bye.
Bye. I don't know why that was like sing-songy. It's like, bye.